Hello everybody, welcome back to BareRose Garage here. What do we got going on today? Well, you can see we got the 460 tore into a little more. I've checked it over, I've looked it over inside and out. The cam bearings, the cam lobes, everything looks and feels great. I mean, almost like brand new. So, everything on here is ready to go. All I got to do is seal it back up, re-gasket it, and send it. Well, everything but this POS timing chain, that is. So, I'm going to order, like I said, I'm just waiting on it to show up, another timing chain, and then slap it back together. So, that brings me to that wonderful live we had last night with Mr. Will's Dying Breed and Nolan over at BareRose. We were on live together and just talking about motors and everything. And it got me to thinking on this build in particular. I got to harken back to Uncle Tony's, it's in one of his earlier videos, but those words that he spoke in that are just, they're gold. It's the golden rule for a budget build. Purity of purpose. What this car is going to do is, it's a driver. It's a driver that's going to go down the track a couple of times. That's all this one is doing. Now I have another 460 sitting outside that is going hog wild all out. So all of my go fast goodies are all going on it. This one, just a driver. Like I said, the wife is going to have a super fun time running this car with this motor down the track a couple of times in Sikeston. I'm going to be out and I'm going to be the one getting the video footage. Why? Because I was always in the pits and I like being in the pits. I'm a builder, not a driver. Let's put it that way. I have more fun building them than I do actually driving them. But I'm not going to get into all of that. The purpose of this one, there is a lot you can do with these 385s to really wake them up. The way they're factory right now, they're running fairly decent numbers, but they're a torque motor. They're not a horsepower motor. They're designed to have all of everything that they've got comes in at low RPM. I'm using that to my advantage in this whole thing. And again, this goes clear back to Uncle Tony's purity of purpose, golden rule. What is the purpose of this car? Is to go 1,600 miles from right here to Jeffers Motor Speed Park, whatever, Sikeston, Missouri, for the No Name Nationals. Now, I got two things to contend with in that. Number one, I got to get the car built. As you can see, it's in pieces. So, I got to get this car done. Number two, gas prices are enormous right now. So, the slower I can turn this motor to get the most out of it, the better off I am. Because the more the tack goes up, the more gas you're going to use. So, I have to build this engine to be able to drive all the way there and all the way back without breaking me. And in the meantime, I got to build the car to do it. So it's kind of a double budget build going on here. Not only to be able to build the car for it, but also the build has to not break me doing all of this. Which brings me to this. On these 385s, the fastest way to get horsepower out of them is right here. Not the timing gear, but the camshaft. All you got to do is just step this cam up. You don't even have to go so far as to changing your valve springs and valves and all of that. All you got to do is step this up a little bit and you'll see vast improvements. But I got a problem with that. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have hesitated. This would not even be an issue. That cam would have been out and the new one would be in, lifter set, and sending it. I wouldn't have even thought twice. But right now, with supply chain shortages and trying to get your hands on real quality stuff, it's getting tough. Not only that, right now, everything in here, the cam, the lifters, everything is in its happy place. This is a happy motor right now. If I go changing anything drastic in the running gear, the rotating assembly, all of that, it takes time for them to be happy with each other again. That's a variable I can't have, because I won't have time to drive that out of it and work the bugs out. I know they say you can break a motor in at 500 miles, but it actually takes more than that for everything to actually really settle in. Well, right now, everything is settled. Everything's where it wants to be. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Only thing I'm going to do is correct the timing on it with the timing chain, a proper, real timing chain. Then it's all going back together. Now later on, if I want to change that, I always can. That's not a problem. Well, on a Ford, it kind of is, because you gotta take the whole front of the engine apart, but it's not that big of a deal. So for this build, it's gonna go with the stock cam. It's gonna go, everything in here is staying just like it is, because it's all happy right now. They have all worn into each other. They've had all of their break-in mileage, and this is an extremely low mileage engine anyway, so it's already done. For the budget, that's superb, because now I can stick it back together, paint it, make it look nice with an updated carburetor on it, and have fun with it for, well, so far I am well within $500 on this whole build. So you see the point there. Now, what will it do in Sikeston? Is it going to be a dog? Not necessarily. I just going to have to send it the way this is designed to be sent. There's some tricks to that. Playing with what you got, basically. Learning to drive what you got. And I don't know, I think she'll stand it'll make a good showing at the No Name Nationals, just the way it is. Is it really a hot rod by just, building a stock 460 to run down there? It sure is. Because in the stock configuration of this motor, I'm almost twice the horsepower of the old Y block that was in there. So technically, yeah, it is a hot rod because of that. Also, for all you new guys that are, just getting into this and you're wanting to pick up a project that you just want to turn wrenches on and learn as you go, this is a great way to do that. Just start with stock. Learn your car in the stock configurations. I know this ain't a Y block, but you understand what I'm saying, right? I picked up a stock big block Ford. I'm going to run it in its stock configuration first. This year, okay, and then I'll upgrade it from there. Maybe next year I'll have a little extra time and I can swap the cam and give me enough time that I can drive the break-in into it. Maybe I'll change the rear end. Maybe I'll put a shift kit in the, you know, maybe I'll put an intake on it, you know. Slowly upgrading as you go along is the best way to do these budget builds, because you're always doing something with the car. So your interest is always in it, and it doesn't end up as a project that just takes up half of your garage space or all of your garage space sitting there doing nothing. Get them running, throw them on the road, enjoy them, and learn them the way that they start, because you'll never know how good it actually has gotten if you never know where it came from. I hope that makes sense to you, and like I said, it's a real brief run through of how my mindset towards how this build is going to go for the first run. You see it on bigger channels that are, you know, they go out and they do their base hits. Well, basically the No Name Nationals for me is the base run for this car, because eventually this car is going to be the hauler, not the racer, the hauler for the white one that looks almost like it, and that one is going hog wild, and it'll be put on a trailer and hauled by this car so we can go to events. Now, if I was trailering this car to Sikeston and I wasn't driving all of those miles there and back, you know, I just put it on a trailer, put a dependable vehicle up front of it that's tried and true, this would be a whole different build. I would build it for that. Again, purity of purpose and building for what you're looking for in the build. My biggest concern in this build is dependability all the way there and all the way back. What happens in Sikeston is going to happen in Sikeston. I just have to make sure that it can get there and get back, and I won. That is my goal in it. So I hope that answers some of your questions out there on this build, the direction of the build, and the reason I'm doing it this way instead of going with the other forms of, you know, of an engine build or a car build. That's why this one is doing what it's doing. Okay, so I hope that helps somebody out there, and in the meantime, jump out there and get some metal hot.